these stations.
Keep looking.
Oh, you're going too slow. Let me take the wheel.
It's too fast. How could you even tell what's on?
I can tell. Too late. I'm in the 40s. Gotta go around the horn. It's faster.
Wait, stop.
I look for the giant chicken!
Now it's...
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Power Shut Up podcast. Those who are here on time, I'll get y'all that are tuning in late, okay? I'll get them when they get here. Randolph will handle that. But no, welcome to another Thursday. We come on here 7 to 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time to talk about some wonderful guests, what they're doing in business, entertainment, anything that's positive, motivating, inspiring, and empowering to others. And we also kind of connect that with communication. How does that, how do they mesh together? Because everything we do is connected with communication. So we're going to have a little fun today with Randolph. We setting him up. No, I'm just kidding, Randolph. But we're going to introduce him in just a minute so you know who we hanging out with today. But before we do that, I wanted to actually, besides saying hello, I wanted to say happy birthday to any of those people out there that are celebrating a birthday this time of year. I know I love the holidays, Thanksgiving and Christmas, so I'm really excited about this time of year. Even though April is in spring, which is my birthday time, that's when I really turn up. But happy birthday to those who are celebrating the birthday. And for those who are celebrating love, happy anniversary to you. I am definitely a mushy gushy kind of person. I love love. So those who are celebrating their anniversaries and things, have a good time, enjoy, and keep the love alive. How about that? And I also wanted to say congratulations to anybody who's starting a new business, started a new class, earned a new certification, bought a new house, whatever it is. Congratulations to you. You did the daggone thing. And if you don't hear from nobody else, congratulations and keep going. In a nutshell, that's what I wanted to do to kind of greet everybody to the show. But I did want to also share some things that I have going on this weekend. This is an exciting weekend. So I wanted to share with you all that Sunday, if you're in the DMV area, there is an event called Creatives Vendor Day. And it's sponsored by, I am with a mentoring group, and they're actually sponsoring this event. And this is when I get to show my creative side. Because you all, well, everybody might not know this, but I actually do wreaths. You can see some of my work in the back. But I wanted to encourage you all to come on out and get your wreaths for the holidays. This is the perfect season for crafting. We're actually going to let you check out some of my pieces real quick. So check this out.
Now you're just showing off. I can't believe my eyes. I can't believe my eyes. Now you're just showing off. I can't believe my eyes. Don't stop. Now you're just showing off. I see you. I see you. I see you. I see ya. I see ya. I see ya.
Yeah, so for those who didn't know, I actually do some creative wreaths with deco mesh, and burlap is my favorite material of choice. But yeah, come check it out. I enjoy what I do, and I have a lot of fun with this. So if you saw something you like, they're one-of-a-kind pieces, but definitely come out and hopefully I have something that you enjoy. I also wanted to talk about BSB. So if you all know, I've been talking about Dr. Gail Crowder. She has an event every year. It's in January, and it's for the wives. So this is the bringing the sexy back to your marriage. And this year, the focus and the theme is the battlefield for marriage. Dr. Gail believes that marriage is a target. Lately that marriage is being attacked, and her mission is to bring wives back together and get us on track. So I know that men have their role as well, but she really is honing in on the women. I go every year, probably for the last 8 or 9 years. So please register for this amazing event. It really kind of gets down to the nitty gritty is what I'm going to say, with those issues that you may run across in your marriage, and also things you can do to your marriage, and of course bring some of that sexy back, because y'all know how it is. Sometimes it's like, okay, what can we do? Watching TV all the time is not the answer. So she makes it fun and creative, and this theme is the camouflage. So y'all ladies, you like to rock the camouflage. This will be the year to do that. So I hope to see you all there. I also wanted to do a quick shout out to the team. So I don't know if you all know, if you've been watching my social media, Dr. Gail Crowder is launching a brand new TV show. And the name of the show is Dr. Gail on Love, Sex, and Marriage. And I am excited to be a part of the production team. And we have been working together. We've had a casting call. We had a dynamic couple that we're going to be working with. And what I wanted to do is shout the team out, because this weekend we are actually starting filming. We're actually filming in Dallas. So I'm not in Dallas right now, but some of the team is there. We're kicking things off. This is filming for our pilot. So I wanted to just shout out the team and say we're holding you down in DMV. We have a couple of things that we have to do here while they're doing that. And then we're bringing filming back to the DMV. So I wanted to place, this information out there to you all. If you know a couple that might be interested in being a part of the pilot, and even a part of the show, we would like to interview with you, see if you'd be a great fit for the show. The show is about uplifting marriage and actually having Dr. Gail sit down with the couples and give them some homework on things that they can do to enhance their marriage. But all of this is to uplift other marriages as well. So I'm excited about it. So if you see my timeline blowing up with production things, that's what it's all about. So I wanted to make sure you all knew about that. And I think I haven't missed anything, but I just wanted to give you an idea of what I have going on. So without further ado, I'd actually like to introduce you to our guest for the evening. He's home as well, because he's been here before, not on the Power Shut Up podcast, but he visited us when we had the Luncheon with Lisa show. And not only that, he also DJ'd for us on the show. So he's home like a couple of our other guests. So we don't serve him nothing out the refrigerator. He's allowed to go right on in there and grab something to drink. So I wanted to welcome DJ Randy P. I'm going to just tell you a little bit about him, and then we're going to get to talking. So when you hear the positive one, we're talking about Randolph Potter. When you hear DJ host at 90.3 WDIH radio, syndicated radio show, you're going to know that's Randolph Potter. From now on, you're also going to know All About Us radio, It's Yours radio, Vibes Radio, and Mixed Station Radio. So as you can see, he is busy radioing quite a bit. Not only that, but he also is into strategic planning, and he's a coach in that area. He's a business owner in entertainment, real estate. He does it all. So welcome, Randolph, to the Power of Shut Up podcast.
That's okay. What's up, everybody? How you feeling?
Good. Glad to have you here. I know you've been here before when we had our other platform, but we're excited to have you on. I know you're a busy man, but I'm excited to have you on because you do so much. And I think I wanted to share something with you. We talked about this before we went live, and I told you I wasn't going to say anything until we were live on this, but I don't think you realize this. I was going through my timeline, and I happen to love Facebook memories, because they bring up things that you have forgotten because you're just so busy working. And I have forgotten, I know you did. And I looked and saw this flyer and said, how about that? Last year, and I think it was last year this time, you were on the show.
Look at that.
The Luncheon with Lisa show.
Look at that, yes.
So I said, okay, so timing is a thing, y'all. Okay, how ironic is that the same time, I think it came up yesterday in my memories, and I thought, that is crazy, because when we did this, I didn't even think about that.
Look, well, we got to celebrate our 1 year anniversary. We got to celebrate.
And we didn't even know we would be celebrating.
We didn't know it, yeah.
So happy anniversary. Welcome back.
Thank you.
A new platform. But I want you to start off by telling us a little bit about what you do. So you're in the entertainment business. You're also in strategic planning, real estate. But tell us a little bit about, because you've talked about this before, but I think it's absolutely fascinating because even in the DJ world, it's different than what we think. So tell us a little bit about that.
So yes, my name is Randy Potter, Randolph Potter, but everybody calls me DJ Randy P, the positive one. I have been a Christian entertainer. I've been an entertainer for 41 years. I've been a Christian entertainer since 1995. Can't remember how many years that is. But I just really love what I do. I'm a mobile DJ.
Close to 30.
Close to 30. I am a mobile DJ, but I also am a radio DJ host as well. I enjoy what I do. For a strategic planning coach, I really love to help people start business. If they have an idea to start a business, they bring me in and I help them achieve their goals. So they say, hey, we want to start a business. We sit down, we go over you do your own business plan. You come to me to get a strategic plan of how you're going to execute starting this business, what you're going to do month to month, day to day, year to year, and whatever goals you have, we just put you give you a plan so you can achieve your goals. And then also the last thing you said, property investment. My wife and I, we have a company together. It's called Back to Us Property Solutions Incorporated, and we really just like to help people achieve the goal of either having a house. We always say we help you to get your life back. Back to Us Property and Solutions. We're here to help you get your life back. So whether you want to buy, whether you want to sell, we want to help you achieve that goal. My wife is a licensed realtor in Delaware and in Maryland.
I love it. So let's circle back to the entertainment DJ. Okay. So we're going to start there and tell us how you even got into the music business, because you said 40 years. That's a long time to be a DJ. And then we just talked about, which we'll tap into on the second half of the show, about communication, because we tapped into that a little bit before we went live. But tell us a little bit about how you even got into that world and remain, because you're very consistent.
Well, I'm just like a lot of young people who grew up in the 80s. I heard Rappers Delight in 1979. My mom bought me the record. So I just I thought I was going to be a rapper, not so much for my career, but I'm a rap, I'm a break dance. So then my family shifts us to this town they got me turntables in 1980. The day before I started school in 1980, in August 1980, my parents got me turntables. So I was just home, mixing it home. Not really out in the field, but just out mixing it home with my friends come over. We rap on the mic. So then they had this idea, we're going to move to this town called Cambridge. We moved to Cambridge in 81. When I moved there, I was the only kid with turntables. Even though I used to like to break dance and rap on the mic, I was the only kid that had the turntable. So kind of all the kids rally around me on the weekends. Big shout out to Milton Walls. He's a pastor now, Pastor Milton Walls. And he was like my partner. And so I would go over his house, set up the turntables. But in 82, someone had another idea. Yes, book Randy the DJ at our party. These young ladies was older than me. They was like in high school. So I think I was in 8th grade, and I was in 8th grade, excuse me. And they was in high school. And so I was like, okay, they booked me to the party. But here's the trick. After the party, they gave me $20. I said, hey, what you give me $20 for? They said, we paying you DJ at our party. And I had no idea that you get paid for it. I've been doing it in the park. Yeah, I've been doing it in the park for free every weekend, just having fun. And once I got that first $20, Lisa, I'm telling you, I think I was hooked. And I was like, okay, I can make money. And then as the years went by, I found this one DJ. Big shout out to Force One. It's a guy from Delaware named Force One. I found out he was full-time as a DJ. I said, oh, because all the DJs I knew had jobs. They only worked on the weekend. But then I met this guy. I hadn't met him before, but I just didn't know much about his personal life. But I found out that he was a full-time DJ. He worked on the weekends, and that's all he did. And once I heard that, I said, hey, I could probably do that too. I'm booked every weekend. Let me try to evolve this thing. So I went on, graduate from high school. I went to college, graduate from college. But the whole way through college, I paid for my own college. First of all, I paid for my own college. My parents didn't have to pay a dime. I paid for it myself just by DJing at parties and selling mixtapes.
Wow.
And this was in the 80s, early 90s. So I knew I had something, and I just continued with my career and just kept on working. And I didn't know at the time how strategic I was on every move I made. I didn't even know it. But basically, I've been a strategic planner for a long time. I just didn't know it. I've been setting goals for myself. and then trying to achieve those goals. And so once I really realized who I was, I start helping others to do it. And I first started with people in the music business, and then I just evolved to any old person who have a business.
So let me ask you this: when you started DJing, and you've been helping other people, because so let me tell you this about Randolph. So it's not that he is just a DJ. He actually also teaches other people how to DJ. And I think that's fascinating, because I just can't imagine that I would be doing it. It's a lot of things that you have to do and watch, and so, but I do want to ask you, you can share a little bit about that, but is that what led you into radio world?
No, that wasn't, but that's a good question though. How I even got started in that, I've been doing that now for 18 years, teaching people how to DJ. I do summer camps throughout the summer, and then I teach adults, and sometimes I go to libraries and teach them after school programs, Okay. And so that didn't get me into radio, but 10 years ago, this is actually last month was my 10-year anniversary being on the radio.
Wow, congratulations.
Yeah, thank you. But I want to give shout out to my mother, Debbie Potter. When I was a kid, growing up in the 80s, and I guess things was changing with music and the world and everything. She was like, I really want you to be on the radio. And I used to be like, nah, because I went to a radio. Big shout out to my mom. She took me to join this lady. She was in church. Her name was Helen Dupree. She had a radio show on Sundays, and she would take me. And we were just in this room. And I was like, man, I don't want to be just in a room. I like interacting with the crowd. I'm actually an entertaining DJ. When I DJ, I go interact with the crowd. I get on the mic, dance with the girls, and have fun. And I was like, man, this radio thing, you just in a box. Feel like I'm not feeling that. So big shout out to my mom, because she planted the seed in me. Fast forward, I became a Christian DJ in '96, and then as I evolved as a Christian DJ, I was DJing this club, a Christian club called The Cave in Glen Burnie, Maryland.
Okay.
And I a lot of great people here, and I ended up meeting some young ladies who had a radio show, and then they wanted to start a station. So they called me up one day 10 years ago and said, hey, we would like to have you show, on our station. So that's how I started. And I'm a business person. So once I got on one station, I started strategizing. Okay, how can I get on other stations?
I know that's right.
At first, people were just calling me up, asking me to be on the station, and then I just made it a strategy to just join other stations and partner with other companies, and that's how I ended up. At one time, I was on 10 different stations at one time.
Oh my goodness! So are all the stations out of I think you're on the Eastern Shore side. Are they all on that side?
No.
So what areas are you hitting with your radio stations?
So right now we're out of New York. All about us. We're out of New York. We're out of Maryland, which is Mix Station, which is It's Yours Radio. We're out of Seattle, which is Vaz Radio. What was the other station? Oh, WDIH, which is out of Maryland as well. But all these stations cover a big ground. When we have meetings, you get to hear the stats of where people are listening to your show, and I'm always amazed of who's listening to my show. We're in Africa, who's listening to my show in Japan. It's always really amazing to know that someone is out there listening to you, and it drives you, And I'm a type of DJ. I don't just play American Christian music. Actually, my radio show is an urban show, so I play reggae, hip hop, dance. I play anything that's urban on my radio show. I don't really play like praise and worship. And when I'm out DJing, I play praise and worship, or what they call CCM, different styles of Christian music. But when I'm on my show, it's all urban. So I'm smart enough to, hey, let me do a whole Nigeria show. Let me do a whole show of the UK artists. Let me do a whole show of Kenya artists. I'm smart enough to know if I got people listening to me in these different countries, why not do a show celebrating their artists? And that kind of really helps me to stay current. First of all, stay current with the audience, but then as well stay current with the music.
Well, in connecting, so I like the fact that you said, because I guess it is entertainment, because I know quite a few DJs in the area, and I think part of the reason that I love all of you DJs is because the ones that really connect with are the ones who get out there with the group. And especially if you don't they play a song that's a line dance or something and nobody knows how to do it, that DJ that will come up off of that turntable and come down there and say, no, this is how you do it. So I love DJs that interact and actually watch their audience. So, sometimes people don't think that DJs are, really, like you said, strategizing. And I did want to welcome Victoria and Gail. Thank you all for tuning in. Please share this with your family and friends. But I did want to mention something about, because we're going to lead into strategizing. But as a DJ, you also have to do some strategizing, because what I found that was fascinating with DJs is that they read the room. So you might have one plan when you get there, or even the ask was different, but you get into the room, you see, okay, well, there's some people in here that, let's say for instance, hand dance. Okay, well, I need to throw some hand dance up in there, even though this is a young party, young people are doing this, but you all actually read the room and then make adjustments, which is absolutely strategizing.
Absolutely. That's actually the heart of it. When I teach my class, I tell the people, it ain't about you. It's about the people in that room and the music you're going to play, and you have to read the crowd. I have so many tricks. I've been doing this for 41 years, and I actually do it every day. So, I wouldn't say I mastered, because you never master anything, but I'm really, really, really strategic and very knowledgeable of reading the crowd. And listen, I'm gonna be honest to you, those that's listening. All you gotta do is ask them. That's all you gotta ask them. But if you ask them what they want you to play, then you'll end up playing a song that people want to hear. Yep. Just ask them. You ain't got to get on the mic and ask them, but you can go to each table, greet the people at the table. That's what me and my wife do. We go to each table, we greet them, we make sure they have a communication with me, so they don't feel like stand up. Because some DJs, you don't even think you can approach them. You be like, man, I can't tell him that he's whack right now. You know what I mean? Or he need to play this. You can tell you can't tell them. But then if you're approachable, I always tell this to people, entertainers, as I'm teaching them, you got to be able to let people touch you. If people feel like they could touch you, then you really have the people, and you're working as a team. It's not my party. I'm here to entertain for you. I want you to have a good time. I can listen to the same song for 2 hours over and over again, same song. I don't think you want that, so I'm going to give you what you want.
Absolutely, because y'all can get into a groove in your head and you like, I don't care if none of y'all can hear what's going on over here, because I'm having a good time. Yep. I did want to lead into strategic planning, because that's something else that you do, and you do coaching with that. And I know you incorporate that into DJing, but tell us a little bit more about what you do in the area of strategic planning.
So every year, first of all, thank you. I didn't tell you this earlier. Thank you for having me on your platform. Absolutely. But to share all this great things. But strategic planning is basically, the art of strategic planning is basically having a goal and then making a plan to achieve that goal. Thinking about the timeline you want to achieve. Do I want to achieve it in 6 months? Do I want to achieve it in 12 months? Do I want to achieve it in a month? And then just actually writing down steps that you can achieve it. It might be you just make one phone call this week. Okay, I'm gonna make one phone call this week, but next week you might do something else. So it's just a progression of things. I actually have a strategic plan for one of the parts of my company all the way down to 2045. And when I show people that on my phone, they're always amazed. You got a plan all the way to 2045? Yes, because I know the vision. Strategic planning is about knowing a vision. If you have a vision, yes, it might take you months, it might take you years to get there, but you got to stay focused on it. And let's give a good example. My strategic plan that I made in 2013 to 2045. Well, COVID hit in 2020. And I was actually on a gig and then when the country shut down, when I live in the state of Maryland, when we shut down, I actually was at a gig that day, and they told that they had shut the doors and said no one can come in. And somebody walked in the hallway and said, "Oh, that's DJ Randy. You gotta let him in. They're waiting for him." So that was my last gig was actually.
Oh wow.
Entertaining. But after that, I didn't know what to do. What should I don't know. Is the country going to come back? So what I'm saying to y'all is I had a goal. I know my vision, right? But sometimes you have to pivot within your own goal, right? I didn't stop what I was doing. I kept on doing it. I started doing it virtually. Even when I DJ for y'all virtually. We kept it moving. But, that's because I have a vision and I know where I'm going. If you don't have a vision, you don't know where you're going. When things happen, you'll give up on your dream.
That's right.
Like, man, I can do this now. I just got cancer. I got this. Something happened. It's always coming. Listen, when you have a business, y'all, something is always going to happen. I don't care what business it is. Something's going to happen. So you got to be able to stay focused on your vision to, to move forward all those things that happen. So that's kind of what I do. I help other companies stay focused on their vision. That's pretty much what I do. People come to me. come to me. Also, we have 2 conferences every year, one in March and one November. We just had one. We just had one last September, because in March, instead of doing a strategic planning, we did a resource day. One of the things about being a coach is people come to me and then I direct them to a certain resource. Oh, you need to talk to this person. You need to talk to this person. You need to talk to this bank. So I said, what would it be a good idea to just bring all my resources all in one room? The insurance companies, the banks, the accountant, every aspect of a business that you need, people to help you with write a business plan. I put them all in one room and then let the people come. And we had a really great turnout. People was blessed. And so that's why we end up not doing our strategic planning in November, because I didn't do it in March like I normally do. So we did it a little early in September, which was last week. And we had a great turnout. We had the people was blessed. And I'm always blessed when I go. We have a great, amazing speakers. Big shout out to the whole Think Big, Plan Bigger team that present at our conferences. It's not just me. I bring a team in. And when when they're there and presenting, you always learn something new, and that's what I love about it. That even I, as the leader, I'm always sitting there and I'm always learning. And I tell everybody on the second day, we do it 2 days. I tell everybody to bring their top 2 goals. So I go in there with my little 2 goals, and I'm always amazed of what they say I should do for my goals. I'm the coach. I'm supposed to be the expert in this, right? But when I bring my little 2 goals there, they be like, oh, you got this app. You should use this. I'm like, I ain't never heard of that app before. I don't know nothing about that. And they always turn me on to a resource that I didn't even know was there to make my business better. So that's one of the reasons why I like to really, really focus on that. Last week, I actually had a wedding to do after strategic conference. So I was kind of concerned about that wedding I had to do. So I didn't give him I forgot to give him my 2 goals last week, but I still got them. So whenever I meet with the people, I'm going to give my little 2 goals, so, and this is for anybody. If you need me, we're going to have the information. They're going to have the information available for you. I'm doing this whole podcast. But if you need me, you're struggling with achieving your goals, you're struggling with your business, connect with me. That's my job. That's my passion, actually, to help you achieve your goals.
Absolutely. I like the fact that you said, and I think that is, to me, one of the requirements for being a good leader is to be open. And we'll talk a little bit more about that in the second part of the show, where we're going to go into an area where we bring communication, or the power shut up, into the evening. But you are doing some amazing things. I love the DJ. When you came on before, it's funny, you were talking about, I think, what did you say the name of the seminar was? Think Big,
Plan Bigger.
Think Big, Plan Bigger. That was not just last year. I think maybe even a couple of years ago, you were talking about that. You all had a huge seminar that was being planned. And what I love to see, which is part of why I love to do this, is because when people come on here and they talk about ideas, visions that they have, things that they're trying to achieve, and to come back years later and watch it, actually now it's a thing, just shows me that, people aren't just talking about it. They really aren't. These people are coming on here and they're giving you an update on what I said I was going to do and what happened along the way and what I'm doing now, which is always a level up. So I just say congratulations to you, because I do recall us having this conversation years ago about that, and the fact that you are still doing that and it has grown into some other amazing things is just something that's how I know that, this is a good thing. Because as you're growing in your business and what you're doing, it has to be that other people who are watching and following you are also growing as well. So you can't, I'm never losing in that situation, because if I'm exposing you to new people this year, or even some old people, like I said, some of the people I bring back because I learned so much the first time around. And part of being a great leader is to being open, and you going to your own, something you're leading and putting together, and then sitting in there and you're a student as well. That to me is amazing leadership, because it means that you're not closed. You're still open. Oh, I didn't think about that, because I know backstage, Shariva is doing the daggone thing, and she'll come up with something. And I'm just being honest, y'all. I ain't thought nowhere near what she talking about. Her mind goes places I ain't never been before. So I'm just like, that sounds amazing. Let's do it. And I'm way open to it. There's no competition in that when when you lead that way. It's like, if you come up with a great idea, I didn't think about it like that. Let's check it out. So I like that that's how you move. I think that is, to me, a sign of being successful. I think that's why you've been successful, because you remain open. So I really thank you for even your yes to come on and talk to us about what's going on, and to see that you're continuing this journey that you talked about years ago. It just puts a smile on my face.
Absolutely. Thank you for having us.
Absolutely. Sharon, I want to welcome Sharon. We said Victoria and Gail, thank you so much. And Sharon joined the room. I do want to remind you all that Randolph Potter is here with us. He is in the entertainment world. He's on radio. He does strategic planning and coaching. So he's a busy man. So we are grateful that he found some time tonight to come sit with us, because I'm sure he is tired and exhausted. I think he worked today, so he doesn't sleep much. So he's like, I need to do it. So let me ask you something real quick, because I know that you are a busy man. But how do you balance all of those things and still make sure, because you mentioned wifey, how do you balance that? And then we will actually, I'm going to do a couple of shout outs for some books, and then we're going to fall into the other half of what we're going to be talking about. But how do you balance that?
Well, I balance it because I set priorities. You have to have priorities in your life when you're an entrepreneur. Yes, you have a business and you want it to thrive. You want it to be successful. But your family is a part of everything that you do. And you want your like to be successful. So, of course, on Friday nights, my wife and I have date nights. Sometimes we do it, sometimes we don't. But we always try to make the time for each other every week. And that's really what keeps my balance. The best thing about me, I'm an entertainer, so my wife can come with me. Sometimes we might be in the city. Let's say we go to New York or something like that. We might be in the city. We'll get a hotel for one day. For the whole weekend. The people pay for me at the hotel the whole weekend. I only got a DJ 4 or 5 hours of that gig. The rest of the time I'm there. Now we're going to hit the city. Now we're going to go to the mall. Now we're going to go. So we make it a conscious effort to do it. That's how you keep a balance when you're an entertainer or any type of entrepreneur. You have to purposely set priority for that. Make sure that's important. I got in my life, I have God, and then my family, and then the music, and then the church. It goes in that order for me.
Absolutely. I absolutely.
Second.
Yep. And I think that too contributes to the success that it has brought you, because things are in order. And I think a lot of times people struggle because things are out of order. You got things that are before these things. And, I've always said, even with doing everything that I do, wearing many hats of things, that if my husband feels like, hey, it's time to pull back a little bit because, there's something going on, or, being an entrepreneur, sometimes you're on your phone and you're multitasking and doing things, but it doesn't take much for me to say, okay, put the phone down. It can wait. And I also try to allot that time for my team as well, because I know they have children, families, things that they need to tend to. And I'm not coming before none of that, not on my watch. So I'm like, nah, if you got something to do, take care of that, because when it comes to mine, I'll shut it down in a minute, and yeah, that can wait. So I appreciate that. What I wanted to do was shout out a few books. Some I am a part of, and others are other people doing some amazing things. And I want to encourage you all, if you want to, reach out to us so we can shout out something, please, let us know. Send us a copy. We would love to do that, because I am a publisher. So right. Books are my thing. I know you like, your reads are your thing, books are your thing. Yeah, it's all my thing. I love doing. But I wanted to shout out a couple of people. So for those who are not aware of this book, and she did a book signing here in Maryland. It was amazing. But Sean Lesueur, I will say that Sean is also, Gail is tuned in, Dr. Gail, for the TV show. Sean is actually a part of the production team as well. So she's part of the team that I'm working with for the TV show, but she's also a writer. And she also does all kinds of things. Sean is a jack of all trades as well. And actually with radio, Sean is a part of the reason that I do what I do now too. She's an amazing host. She's hosted quite a few of the events that I've had, but she has a book out that is called Hot Mama Cold Pizza.
Oh.
And I know you all are like, what in the world does that mean? But I will give you in a nutshell. It's tales of motherhood, homeschooling, and trying to have it all. So she has homeschooled her children. She's done an amazing job, and she puts a lot of scenarios and things that she has gone through from homeschooling her children in this book. It is an amazing piece to read. So please, I'm going to share this with you all. If you're looking for information, Sean's out here on social media, but you can also inbox me. She has this amazing book out, and I think everybody should have this, whether you are homeschooling or not. The stories in this book, when we did the book reading, were just hilarious. And in this book, she would tell you how she ended up with this title. There is a reason that it got here. So that is one of the shout outs. I want to shout out Sean. I also wanted to shout out because like I mentioned, I have a publishing company, and I had some clients who came to me wanting to do a co-author book, an anthology. So they did a book called Owning Your Uniqueness, Your Voice Matters. So my publishing company, Touched by Dove Publishing, was absolutely honored. Tina Harmon is a visionary. They had some amazing co-authors, and they really talking about owning your voice. The reason I love this as well is because you all know I'm the Power Shut Up Queen, and it's all about communication, but there's some powerful stories in here that really help people to know that, you know, your voice matters. I think there are a lot of people in the world who are struggling with that. They think, well, nobody wants to hear what I got to say. The lies they told. There is a story for everybody to tell that somebody can glean from. So check this book out as well. You can find it on Amazon and other outlets. But congratulations to Tina, and thank you for trusting Touched by Dove Publishing. I did want to actually shout out an older book that I have done. I co-authored this book. Sharon Monnier was the publisher of this book. She coordinated this whole process. It's called Get Out of Your Own Way. And these are 11 life-changing stories on how to enjoy the journey and stay focused. So I was a co-author on this bestseller, proud to say. And we also had some amazing co-authors on this book. Teddy Pendergrass's son was on this book. We had Brett Lilliard, Nicole Sherry, Tyrone Dubois, who will be a guest on the show on the 19th. There's some amazing co-authors on this book, but we talk about things that we experience in life where we realized that we were our biggest enemy in this process. Like, we had to get out of our own way. And I think sometimes our egos won't allow us to realize that it's us. We need to just move over. Okay. We blocking stuff. So this was actually a wonderful read I wanted to share as well. She has a couple of volumes of this. I'm in another volume, but I was just shouting this one out. And then the last two, I meant to do this last week, but you all may not know, I do have, and I'm behind on what I need to do with this, but a children's book series called Cam Capers. And this book was my very first children's book. And it's called When Gigi Meets Cam. And it mirrors my experience with my grandson, Camden. And I captured the day that he was born and we met. And this is the first book in a series of Cam Capers. So this introduces the book series. This is my baby. I love this book. He loves to read it as well. We did a book, I won't say it's a book signing, even though he did sign some books, he made a mess of some books. And I struggle with that because I'm like, oh no, we don't do no crayons and no books or whatever, but it's his book. And I will tell you the cool thing about this is the illustrator did an amazing job. And this picture is actually an actual photo of Camden and I, and she created the characters. And I went as far as to make the characters in the book look like his mom and his dad and my husband. So, I mean, we put a little family in the book, but it's really about me and him because that's my boo. And of course, the Power Shut Up. So I'm going to continue to encourage you all to check out the Power Shut Up. It's going to lead us into the second segment of this where we talk about communication. But the Power Shut Up is really not about removing your voice. It's actually about helping you to manage your voice. so that when you decide to speak, you're thinking first, and then you're actually speaking with intention. A lot of times we're popping off, we're saying whatever comes to our head, and I'm just suggesting that there's another way to communicate with people if you really want to be heard and understood. So please check out The Power Shut Up. You can get it at Barnes & Noble, Amazon. You can also hit me up and I'll sign it for you. So I wanted to make sure, and we'll always shout out, because what I'm learning, I'm going to share this message, Randolph, and I know you will understand this, but Sean Lasore, who I just shouted out, gave me a message at the last Power Shut Up Symposium. And she told me, because she could not be there, but she said, you need to stop playing small.
Mm-hmm.
And when she told me that, I was like, okay. And it's one thing to say okay, but I said, you're right. Sometimes we kind of dim our shine and don't glow because we don't want to mess somebody else up or make them feel some kind of way. But you know your heart, you know where you're coming from, and there's nothing wrong with putting out what you're doing to help change the world in a positive way. So that's what I'm doing going forward, which is another reason why you're here. So Randolph,
yes,
find them of where they can find your information, your next seminars and things like that. Let's talk a little bit about The Power Shut Up.
yes.
So in work, and we talked a little bit about this before the show, which helped lead me into where I'm going to take this conversation. You mentioned something about in the last year or two, you have learned to listen more, which is a part of the power of shut up. We think about talking, but the other part of that is listening. Tell us a little bit about your journey with that and kind of the before and after, what you might have been doing before and what you kind of realized that helped you to understand that listening was a wonderful thing.
So with me, how my journey began is that since I'm an entertainer, I'm constantly meeting, let's say 50 to 100 new people every day. And so throughout the years, I really don't get to talk to too many people. So when I do get a chance to talk to somebody, I basically talk your ear off. It's like I'm like da 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 da. But what people don't understand is I don't really get to talk to too many people. You know, think about it. If I'm doing a concert that's 1,000 people, and you go, you know, everybody else is interacting, but I got to stay focused because I'm DJing. So I really spent a lot of years not talking to people, really being introvert. But all those that come close to me, that's in my circle, they get all of it. They get all my feelings. They get everything. I just ramble off a lot. But a couple of years ago, I had a friend of mine, and he was like, you know, he was just basically, I'm a best paraphraser. He was just basically saying, man, you got to listen to me. And it did dawn on me, you know what? Sometimes I do too much talking and not listening. And, you know, a person who's a coach and then a person who just as a Christian, I just should just listen more. So this happened 2 years ago. So I've been spending the last 2 years of my life just really trying to listen. And I'm one thing about me, y'all, is I'm a solution-driven person. I actually have a degree in electronics. And when you do electronics, it's all about the solution. It's all about fixing a problem. Everything is a problem. And I'm really good with math. So I grew up all my life just solving problems. Even as a coach, I'm solving someone's problem. Right. So now I've learned, and I'm consciously doing this. I'm doing it consciously to listen to the person, not even giving them a solution. Mm-hmm. A person like me, we have gifts. And our gifts is we can solve solutions. Even before you even get it out your mouth, I have the solution. So now I'm learning how to just don't even say anything. Listen to what they're saying, get it all in. And if they allow me to give them solutions, if they don't ask me, sometimes I don't even give the solution. I might wait till 2 days later and say, hey, you know, what you shared with me, you know, I think I have a solution to that problem. But listening is very important, y'all. Those that might be struggling with it or not even know you're struggling with it, like me, I didn't know I'm struggling with it. That's because by the time you get to me, I'm like, boom, boom, boom. I'm trying to tell you all these different things. And y'all, one thing about me, and anybody that knows me can say this, I'm very passionate. So I always tell people, if you stay away from music and you stay away from business, I probably won't say much. But if you start talking about music and you start talking about business, then you're going to hear me say a lot of stuff because that's my passion. So, you know, I constantly for the last 2 years, and you know what? And I can't say 100% that being on your show made me, but I remember being on your show saying it might have been during the time when God was dealing with me with the thing. I'm like, you know what? I really have to just be quiet, and just listen, and at first it was a struggle, but now I'm used to it. I was just ministering to somebody the other day and they were steady talking. I just put my hand on her shoulder and I was like, okay. One of my best friends, parent passed away a couple weeks ago. I went to see him yesterday. I saw him yesterday and I didn't say not one word. I just listened to him. Let him vent and share it with me. My father passed away 2 years ago, so I know the feeling. But it wasn't for me to be talked about my father. It was for me to be listening about his family member that passed away. So, it is something that you can learn. It's something that if you read her book or keep listening to the show, you'll learn somehow the way. She'll give you some type of tool that'll help you to shut up. So
Randolph, you don't know how special what you just shared was to not just the whole reason that I do this. And before I go any further, wanted to shout out Deborah Potter for tuning in. Hello. We appreciate you.
That's my mom. That's my mom too.
Oh, that's your mom. Yes. Hello, Mom. We did a shout out to you. I hope she can go back and see. We put her name in lights up here on the show. So, thank you so much for tuning in. But I want to thank you so much because one of the things that I struggle with sometimes is that people don't get it. They really don't get it. Now, it doesn't stop me from moving, but sometimes it can be frustrating because I'm really not trying to shut you up. I'm really trying to help you to use your voice in a better way. Hello. So when you mention something about listening, the specialness, if I just made up the word, sorry y'all, but I couldn't think of anything else to express how special it was to hear a man share the importance of listening, because that is rare. And especially lately, because y'all know I'm trying to learn these TikTok streets, and I don't see, and I will say this on both sides, not just men, but men and women aren't doing a lot of listening. Everybody has a lot to say, which of course we do. We've been through a lot in these last 3-4 years. It's a lot to talk about, but there is such a, and I don't know what the word is, but there's such a piece around listening that I learned when I went through this process of embracing the power shut up. I know I say it like shut up, but for real, it doesn't offend me anymore. Shut up doesn't offend me anymore because I know the piece on the other side of doing it. So when you shared that listening, and it wasn't to take away what you have to offer somebody, but when you mentioned that sometimes it's just not a moment to speak and it's not about you, I think that's where people struggle with listening because you're afraid that you're not going to get in the conversation or nobody's going to know what you felt or what you meant. And those opportunities will come. But, I had to learn that there were moments where I probably had a lot to offer, but it doesn't mean that other people didn't. So that just wasn't my time. And believe me, other opportunities came around so that I was able to share all those things that I wanted to. So I thank you so much because you kind of hit the nail on the head with what the Power Shut Up and why I have this podcast is all about. That you didn't even know that was an issue for you.
Yeah, I didn't even know it.
An aha moment for you to be like, you know what? And you related it to work because the way you communicated was because you're a DJ. You're constantly, we talked about this earlier, where you're constantly engaged with what you're doing. Because I know as somebody who might go to get my party on, the DJ can't stop because you want to say hello, okay? The music has to keep playing, so he don't have time for all them. Hey, how you doing? No, we don't have time for that because I'll be looking at him like, oh no, DJ, play that music. Like, don't stop. Mm-hmm. So I thank you so much for sharing that because I didn't know what you were going to say about that. But when you mentioned listening earlier, I was like, there you have it. That's what we're going to talk about because part of the Power Shut Up is absolutely about listening. And, that's the reason that people misunderstand people because they aren't listening.
I do want to add one point to this too. I want everybody to really I want you to take this point and consider it in your own life. You have to know your worth. One of the things when my wife and I got married, I used to share with her. She used to be like, why are you doing this? Why are you helping this person? Why are you this? I said, well, I've learned my worth. To other people, if Randy P would take the time and do this for me or listen to me, people feel like that's important to them, and you have to know who you are to that person. So I had to figure out, hey, I am important to people. So let me take the time and listen to them, because people see me as a popular person. Again, I've been entertaining for 41 years, so you have to know your worth, y'all. So you have someone coming to you, constantly sharing things with you. That's a reason. God put you in that person's life for a reason, so they can vent. I have people that I vent to as well, and I don't vent to people who's going to be along with me. Sometimes I know them wrong. I know that the thinking that I'm thinking is wrong, so I vent to people who's going to be like, Randy, no, don't
That's
think
right.
that way. And so I need that. But again, they listen to me, so I had to learn myself how to listen to others and know my worth, that, hey, if they're sharing this information with me, then I must be worth something to them, and very important in their life, that they feel open to share. And so it's the best thing to do is just listen. Don't be just trying to throw things in people's face, or as far as with solution wise, listen. You could be wrong. You could be wrong in your solution.
And that's the whole thing, because everybody has their own approach. Everybody sees things differently. So even with speaking, you have to understand, just like me coming out with the Power Shut Up, there were some people almost immediately, there were some people who were like, how dare you, ask people to shut up? And I knew that I didn't mean any, it was actually a good thing, but only I know that. And it's up to the other person to open up long enough for me to share what this all means. So I'm sure there's some people who have never approached me about the Power Shut Up because they think I might be telling women to be quiet and just be seen and not heard for children. And none of that's the case, but I can't make that be known until you open up enough to listen to what I have to say. So listening is key to everything, because I can know a whole lot of things, but if you're not tuned in and listening, it's not going to help you. And listening to me has allowed me a space to grow. I could never grow if I don't have the gift of listening, because there's always somebody in my space that I can learn from, glean from, and enhance what I'm doing. And if we walk into rooms and feel like there's nobody in the room that can offer you anything, so that you don't have to listen, then that's a problem. That's a you problem. And it's the ego problem. So that's why when we launched this, the whole theme was that it's time to burn those petty files and set those egos aside. And let's talk about how we can do better. Because the Power Shut Up is a self-help. It's like Lisa was checking Lisa. And I'm just coming here to share with y'all every week through my seminars, through the podcast, through the book, that I tried this. I wasn't a believer, but I tried it, and this stuff works. Like it works. And I'm not trying to sell you nothing necessarily. If you get it, you get it. If you don't, I'm just praying that one day you'll take a chance, hear me out, listen to the guests that come on the show, and understand that communication is just huge. And we just have to do better. We haven't been doing great in communication, and we just need to do better. And it's okay. We're not going to always get it right. But Randolph, you hit the ball out the park with the listening part, because I don't hear a lot of men, whether they agree with you or not. I think it's rare that I've heard a man outwardly say, I just don't listen enough. And I'm opening to hear what somebody else has to say. And you received that from somebody else. Because that was the way I caught it too. Somebody told me, as a matter of fact, Dr. Gail Crowder is the one who she told me shut up. And after I got over myself, my ego was standing up strong, like, excuse me. But after I got over myself, I heard what she said. You know what I'm saying? Like, it took somebody who must have touched you in a way where you hear what they're saying. They don't mean any harm. They're not trying to shut you up for life.
No. He wasn't trying to do that at all. No.
Absolutely. So thank you for sharing that, because that's really why we're here. So what I wanted to do to end this is I think I'm going to go on to our TikTok moment first and share that. And then we're going to come back so Randolph can share with you how you can get in touch with him, find out about what he's doing with his businesses, and connect you. So let's have a TikTok moment, and then we'll come back so we can say goodbye.
Once, and the mouse realized that the farmer had set a mouse trap.
And so the mouse started going around and telling everybody, y'all got to help me get rid of this trap. Y'all got to help me get rid of this trap. And so the mouse went over to the chicken and said, hey, they set a mouse trap. The chick said, man, I love you, but it ain't got nothing to do with me. It's not a chicken trap. He left the chicken and went over to the pig. He said, man, you got to help me get rid of this trap because they said a mouse trap. They trying to get me, dog. And the pig said, I love you, man, but it ain't got nothing to do with me. It's not a pig trap. Then he went over to his friend, the cow, and he said, hey, man, y'all got to help me. There's a mouse trap in this house, and if we get together, y'all can help me get rid of this. The cow said, you know I love you. I got your back, but it ain't a cow trap. Well, one night, a venomous snake got caught. Tail got caught in the trap. The farmer's wife walked in the kitchen, did not know that a venomous snake's tail had gotten caught in the mouse trap. The venomous snake bit the wife. She became deathly ill. Well, when someone gets ill, what's the first thing you have to make? Chicken soup. And so the chicken was pulled from the farm and chicken soup was made. The woman got worse and church members and family members began to come by and visit early in the morning, and the farmer needed some bacon and needed some hot links. So guess what got pulled next? Mr. Pig got pulled. Then the woman ended up dying from her injuries. The venomous snake actually killed her, and it was a funeral, and they had to prepare for a repast, and there went the cow. The moral of the story is this: when one of us is threatened, we all are threatened. When one of us is going through, we all go through. When one of us weeps, we all ought to weep. When one of us rejoices, we all have to rejoice because we're in this thing together. You ought to thank God for your community.
Wow.
That was
it. Yes.
Yes. So what I try to do every the end of every show is provide a TikTok. So for those who are out there that maybe are pushing some, motivational, inspirational messages, we would love for you to send us your TikTok so we can, share this as part of our TikTok moment on the Power Shut Up podcast. So that's where that comes from. Every week I'm looking for some kind of powerful message that sends us into the weekend so we can get ready for a brand new week next week. So I hope you all enjoyed that. But Randolph, I want to take a moment so you can let everybody know, where can they find you so they can get some of that strategic planning. And of course, if they got a party coming up, they might need a DJ.
Absolutely. Woo. If you need a DJ, absolutely get in touch with me. A Christian DJ. Okay. So I only play Christian music, but check this out. You can reach me on social media platforms, Twitter or Instagram. Just look in there at DJ Randy P, at DJ Randy P. And on Facebook, I'm Randolph Potter. And then LinkedIn, I'm on, name is Randolph Potter as well. Please, and the name of my company is Revive Sound Productions with an S. Revive Sound Productions. I would love to sit down with you if you're starting a business or you have a business and you're not achieving your goals at this time. I would love to sit down with you, make a strategic plan on how we can achieve these goals in the time frame that you would like to achieve them in. I love what I do. That's my passion. And this is the way to get in touch with me. We do have a calendar link right here at the bottom of the screen. You'll see a calendar link. So if you want to set up an appointment with me, you can do that as well.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Randolph. Did you have any just words of encouragement for those who are going into, because I understand this is a long weekend for quite a few of us. So thank goodness we get an extra day to rest and relax. But share with us a moment of inspiration or a thought of inspiration with everyone who's tuned in.
Well, I'm gonna take this inspiration thought from one of my close friends. I have a friend, his name is Emery Jones. He's a fashion mogul. You will know him from Rock Nation or Plains, if you're familiar with the Plains hat. And he also is a leader within the Puma urban industry. But he has a quote that he says, bet on yourself. I would say to everyone who's wrestling with their idea or wrestling on whatever they're trying to do and you feel discouraged, I'm gonna encourage you to bet on yourself. If you can't go wrong if you bet on yourself.
Absolutely. So thank you all so much. I appreciate you for tuning in as you do every Thursday, 7 to 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We love having you join in the conversation. Please continue to share this out to your family and friends. We have some amazing guests. I think, Randolph, you have kind of got the party started with music because next week we have Donnie got the beats that's coming on, and he has a new single coming out that's called Celebrated, I believe. So we're bringing him on to talk about his new music. And then after that, we actually have a guest, Tyrone Dubois, who, if you've ever heard of Unsung on TV One, he is the voice. And he does some of the interviewing on there. He's he's been on the show with Lunch with Lisa before, and he also is a music historian. So he had us mesmerized with some of the stories and the people he knows from the music industry and those that he has met along the way doing Unsung. And he has a new TV show coming out, I believe. So he will be on following. So you're kind of leading the pack with the music industry and engineering and production of shows and things like that. So thank you for representing, because what I do want people to understand with the Power Shut Up is not just women who are coming on here. There are men who are coming in here that are doing some amazing things. So please connect with these guests and tap into their knowledge and their gifts. That's what we're here for. So I appreciate you, Randolph. I will see you all next Thursday. So have a great weekend, long weekend, and we'll see you then.
Bye-bye, everybody.